welcome back. And so politics at the national level, presidential primaries appeared in the last couple of weeks to have overshadowed the other part of politicking, which is the governorship elections coming in the off-cycle states like Ekiti and Osun. And we did have this conversation, I believe, 2 days ago on the program. And now we are focusing on state politics as we look at Ekiti State, one of the smallest states in Nigeria, but also one of the most educationally advanced states. Ekiti State people head to the polls on June the 20th to elect another governor. Will it be the incumbent or any candidate from the other political parties jostling for the top job in Ado-Ekiti? And so let's talk to one of the candidates of the People's Redemption Party who joins us right here in our Lagos studio. He's Mr. Ayodele Praise. Mr. Ayodele Praise. Olani. Yes. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
And so you are a cleric, right?
Yes, I am.
You're a cleric. You are also a journalist and into real estate.
Yes.
And you're running under the People's Redemption Party.
Yes.
All right, interesting. So first of all, let's get this clear because there are a lot of parties with, litigation concerns. There's no other aspirant or candidate disputing your candidacy as the candidate for the governorship position in the People's Redemption Party. So we don't run into any challenge.
No, not in Ekiti and not in any state that I know of in Nigeria. I know.
Not yet.
No.
No. We don't envisage it. I think, PRP is a different party in terms of principles and ideology. Yeah. So we don't have that for now.
All right.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask why the People's Redemption Party?
Like I said, ideology, principle. We've had a lot of parties coming up in Nigeria without clear-cut principle or ideology of what do they stand for. We all know that PRP is called the Talakawa Party, that means social justice, where we believe that government should be taken from a few set of selected individuals and given back to the people, where everybody gets to enjoy the dividends of democracy. I come from a background of unionism, and I remember back days we said that fighting man's inhumanity to man, welfarism is our concern. Those were words. So these are part of the point that drew me to People's Redemption Party, and I felt like let me stay with people where I believe that they are people of integrity, and then the things we plan that we'll do for the people, we can actually actualize it there. And I don't also want to be in a party where it will be much of godfatherism, and all of that, where you have the freedom to serve the people that you are promised to serve. Yeah. Okay.
Not of godfatherism yet. And maybe when one of the big political bigwigs takes interest in PRP, things could change. But we have been listening to you, and part of your manifesto says that you plan to deliver 1,000 jobs per year to Ekiti residents. How are you going to actualize that?
Well, cottage industries. You see, when you industrialize, you definitely automatically create jobs, whether direct or indirect. If you look at Ekiti, Ekiti is an agrarian society, and everywhere is green. I think the problem we've had over the years is that we have not focused on how to convert the agric produce we have into products. How can you have cocoa in large quantity, for instance, cassava in large quantity, and you don't have processing industries? So it's just about entering into agreements and having serious plan, intended plans. You keep focus on what you want to do and ensure that you have industries coming up in all of this. We promise that we're going to ensure that we have at least one cottage industry in each of the 16 local governments we have in Ekiti State. And when you have that, automatically you are creating jobs. And to also enter into programs that will help the youth and the women, supporting small scale and empowering them, creating the right space for the youths to express what they have. They say that an idle land is the devil's workshop. You know, if you don't make adequate preparation, especially for our younger generation, they tend to get lured into other areas. So we are looking at these areas to ensure that whether PPP arrangement or whatever you want to call it, we're going to ensure that we have those industrialization. Let me just paraphrase it that way. And we will ensure that we achieve this. Yeah.
You know, when people are running for office, we've sat on this chair, we've heard a lot of things. Promises are not new to us, so we don't get so excited.
Okay.
So let me ask you straightforward questions. It's great to have the idea of cottage industry. It is a small state. But I want you to talk to us about how you intend to scale up internally generated revenue. It is highly dependent on FAC. The market size is small. The debt burden is maybe over 200 billion naira. If you look at the foreign and local debt, I'm just looking at the numbers. The average IGR maybe about 20-something billion per year. So the state doesn't have money. Let's put it as it is. The state doesn't compare to other states. So when you have all of these lofty ideas, because I'm seeing your programs, start with us how you want to make money.
Thank you very much. If you look at that manifesto well, you will see that part of what we said there is that we want to, Ekiti State is referred to majorly as a civil servant state, you know, because majority of the workforce, you know, are civil servant, and I feel that, or we, because I'm not alone in this, that it's the private sector that should drive the economy. So we're going to return this back to them. Sit down with people. Sit down with our people. If you look at it, you find out that Ekiti State people, aside from being the first when it comes to education, are also highly industrious people. We have great men outside Ekiti, within the walls of the country and without the walls of the country. I've sit down arrangement with these people to come back, invest in the town. The duty of government is to create enabling environment for businesses to thrive. So we're going to work on ease of business, ensure that we encourage these people and government actively, not necessarily starting one.
Give me two industries, my apologies, that you would like to interact into Ekiti State that can dramatically upscale the revenue of the state.
I've already mentioned cocoa processing industry. I mean, if you remember some years ago, we had two kinds of, I'm trying not to mention, maybe Bombita, for instance. You know, where you had one that was sweeter, one was not as sweet as the other.
Yeah.
Where are those companies? Where are those industries, factories now? So these are things we're going to, not only for cocoa. I was sharing with some of our people that today, just from banana leaves, people are making wigs, or what do they call it now for women? I mean, these are some of the things we're going to sit down and look at. We have everywhere green. We have all of these things there. We're going to ensure that, especially in the agro-allied line, you understand, to improve the value chain that we get from there. When all of these things are in place, automatically your economy improves, your IGR improves. You know, we can't burden people increasing tax, you understand, on the people because we want to have more IGR. We need to widen our net and ensure that we have more activities going on, especially in the private sector.
So, looking through your profile, you studied food science and technology at the Federal Polytechnic Offa, then masters in education management and planning. You were SUG president at Federal Polytechnic Offa. I mean, so to that extent, you have some sort of experience at politics at the school level. But, you know, the state's politics is a different ballgame. And I want to appreciate that you appreciate what you're getting into. But here goes my question. Mention two things that you think the governor, current governor, Biodun Oyèbánjí, has done wrong or has not done well that you think you can do better. Two things. I'm not giving you a long list now. Just two.
I'm not sure you have listened so much of my campaign with our people. I've tried my best as much as possible not to speak against anybody or to... I've been trying my best to speak more about what I am going to do. However, some people asked me some questions. They were asking about, we have a bridge, you know, in Ekiti State. They said, if I were to be the governor, would I have built that bridge? I said, building a bridge is not a problem. But for me, I would have looked at maybe having 6-way lanes, that will improve passage of, because I don't really see much of benefit of the bridge for now. It's a good one, and I will look at prioritizing roads, not for political gains, but for impact purposes. For instance, like I said, agric is our basic whatever in Ekiti State. We need to know how to move agric produce, from where they are, to where they are needed, where the market is. We made a pact with our people. That's what we are offering them, that there's no reason why any farmer should be afraid of how to sell any produce. We're going to ensure we link this produce to off-takers, you understand, to ensure that all these things people are encouraged to go more into farming, not just farming the way they've been doing it, but in a different purpose entirely, to ensure that we industrialize agriculture, you understand, and bringing in infrastructures that will improve it, not the way it's been done. So I'm going to connect the rural areas to the urban areas, and I'm going to ensure, if you look at it in Ekiti State, we have, was it last year or 2 years ago, we had the cargo airport approved. And I think that's a good point, to improve our business, because it's cargo airport.
You just campaign for the governor. Right?
No problem. It's a cargo airport, not a passenger airport.
Right.
Of course, I know it's passenger, cargo and passenger, but what we should look at is how to get our produce into products that become exportable to the whole world, and then we improve our economy and ensure that our IGR increases, and then to also focus on what we call the knowledge zone. We have it in the Ekiti State. But I think it's been moribund, or maybe not much, from my view, has been done in that regard. And the idea behind that is to ensure that we bring the whole world to Ekiti. Ekiti State must open up, to the whole world. That's it.
And it seems industrialization is high on your agenda to transform Ekiti State. Yes. I will also hope that security is part of it. It would have been a conversation we would have loved to explore, but we're totally out of time. I must thank you.
If you know my history with security, I was the one that led the rally for the establishment of Amotekun in Ekiti State. And if you don't have security, you can't have progress. So it's number one on my agenda, then industrialization and agriculture. If you look at it, I have what I call the praise pact with the people. Unfortunately, like you said, we don't have the time, to go into that. If we follow these things, I'm not just one of those regular, like you said, I've been a student union president. I live in Ekiti. I understand what the plights of Ekiti people are. And I'm ready to serve the people, not just like fake promises that many of our leaders give to the people. You
know what they say, politicians campaign in poetry, but they govern in prose. We hope that you are an exception. Mr. Praise Ayodele is the People's Redemption Party's governorship candidate for the Ekiti State governorship election. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you. And thanks for having me.
And we have just one more place to touch on the program right after this time out. Join us again.